What is up, guys? Welcome back. Thank you for being here if you're here. This is going to be the part 2 to the guide that I released, I think 5 days ago. It's about that. Sometime, yeah, a little bit earlier this week, or just towards the end of last week. I released on this account the part 1 of how to like begin progression in the game. And so this is going to like continue that of like once you've done, so basically that just run you through part 1 of the quests and how to do them. They're pretty plain sailing. With part 1, what you want to do is just a summary. Just go through it, and if you can't do something, go back and beat an earlier stage on times 10. That's effectively what the summary of the video was, and then it just loosely explained all of the different game modes were. Not well. So that's what that did. That's basically the thing, is just go through it and just do what it says. And you want to stick to part 1 until you've done it. For a variety of reasons. Firstly, it teaches you everything about the game. And I can tell you as much as I want to. But first-hand experience is essential to fully understand what I'm trying to explain. So definitely stick to it, and also you get all of these normal tickets and these stealth elf shards that are just vital. You want to get your stealth as far as possible. So definitely stick to part 1. When you get to part 2, the brakes come off a little bit, or the brakes go on a little bit, I should say, and you can slow down a little bit. So part 2. There's the first part, which sort of throws you a bit in the deep end. So the first part, I mean, some of them are not too bad. When it says clear 2 stages with any fire Skylander, just go and do 1-1 easy. Get it done in 2 runs. Get it done in like 20 seconds. 3F of the Beast Lander, you've beaten Painata. For Painata's quite hard. So you might have to go and do a bit more grinding, but just anyone like Kaboom. Basically, anyone who's not an undead or an heir, just bring 3 of those and you should be alright. So Stealth Elf will be fine, and then just like Wham Shell or Boomer or Kaboom, someone like that. Spyro probably. Anyone like that and you should be alright. And if you've beaten Painata, 3F of the Beast Labyrinth will be no problem whatsoever. I think I was beating Beast 5 at that point. So that should be no issue for you. And then you go through these, and these are fairly straightforward. 3-3 norm might give you problems. And then you get to 20F of the Mirage Tower. This one is a bitch. So the way Mirage Tower works, I haven't actually done any, so it's kind of a bad example. The way Mirage Tower works, I didn't explain it at all in the last video, so I'm sorry. You get 2 teams. I've just auto-placed these. You can pick them out as to which ones you think work well together. Obviously, this is the 2nd floor, so I'm not going to bother. But what you get is you get 2 teams. And the way that it works is this. I'm going to leave this like off auto, off everything. You'll see down here, there's a little switcher icon. And what this does is, this means that you can switch the teams over. So you don't have to just wait. So you don't have to just play with the first team, wait till it dies, and then the second team bring it out. You don't have to do that. Instead, you're going to have, you can get to a certain point in the battle where a lot of your units are low health, switch over, and then you've got a new full health team. And that team, there are 2 things that happen. That team firstly recovers a little bit for the team that's on the standby, so to speak, the team that you've left. Not only will it slowly regain a little bit of health, so the longer you leave the second team out, the better. You regain more health, but also it clears off all the debuffers. And Mirage Tower 20's boss, it's the magic turtle thing, puts on a load of bombs. and when the bombs go off, it's like 3 of them, they kill you or something. It's about that. You get to about 3 or 4 bombs and you're dead. So that's obviously a problem. So what you need to be aware of is trying to keep alive as long as possible against the boss, and then switching the team out just before the bombs go off, and then switching back, and then switching back. So here, I haven't been checking, but it's now back. So I can just press the switch icon, and then the end of the turn, it will switch over, and I'm using the other team. And then there's a certain cooldown period. So if you can outlast that cooldown period with the team up, you can then switch back over and back over and back over. And if you've got enough damage dealing potential in there, you should be all right. Obviously, when you're doing Mirage Tower 20, the boss is only the 3rd phase. So that means that by the time you get there, you can already switch over. So you can just unload a load of attacks and then switch over really quickly once he puts the bombs on you. Then you can get a load more attacks and then switch back over and get a load more attacks in. So I think what you should try and aim for is, so you have Team 1 take you through all the waves and the first bit of the boss, switch over to Team 2, last as long as you can on that one, and then switch back over to Team 1, then go Team 1 till it dies, and then go Team 2 till it dies. And you should get it before then. Basically. Oh, I haven't even looked at this yet, but it should be fairly straightforward. Mirage Tower, it will get a little bit tiresome because the first half of it is a bit pathetic when you then revisit it. Because it's meant to challenge you the more you go up it. Obviously then when you're like a really experienced player and you go into Mirage Tower 2 or something, it's just easy. So, but just enjoy the rewards of it. Make sure you do it every month. I haven't yet, but I will. So yeah, so Mirage Tower 20 is a real toughie. It's way harder than anything you've done previously. So don't be afraid to go back and do a load of X10s and stuff, because you might need it. It is a really tough fight. So just that's the strategy of it. I would show you in action, but I'm not up there at the minute because I haven't pushed Mirage Tower so far this month. It resets every single month. So the first of the month, it resets and you go down to floor 1 and you can climb it back up and get all the rewards again. So 20's a toughie. I explained what Cave of Gold is. It's basically just a boss battle for a load of gold. And then Medellin Woodland is a boss battle for a load of experience. Make sure that you're filling the spectator slots wisely. You can fill them with anyone and they get all the XP. It's like 3,000 XP or something. Stage 5 is 3,500 each for everyone in the battle. And then stage 4 is 2,800. And I'd assume that stage 3 is 2,100 by extension. The other thing is Realm of Souls. Realm of Souls is slightly different. I don't think I explained it well. So Realm of Souls, you can quit the battle, and your team, you can give the same battle a battle the same go multiple times over. So like you could switch your teams with Mirage Tower, you can then revive your teams if you want to on Realm of Souls, or give it a go with another team with the unit staying on the same health. So, but there is a method. There is a method. If you get a really difficult phase, what you can do, and I'll just use a bunch of attacks with like Robo and stuff. So let's say you get to this point, and I'm going to assume this is a really tough fight. Obviously, it's stage 1, so it's really easy. And let's say I got to a really tough stage in the fight, and when he hits me, he does a load of damage. What I can do, obviously he's not, but like if he was, I could then quit the battle, start again, and go and do the same thing, and then quit again before he attacks me, quit again before he attacks me. And effectively, if you give it enough time, you have enough patience at it, you'll eventually kill them. So you can kill Realm of Souls stage like 3 or 4 or 5 as a beginner but it will take you a long time. It's probably not worth it, to be honest. But I would say just go for as far as you can. If you want to, then if you're then asked to clear, say, one of the early missions in part 1 is clear stage 3. That one you might need to go and do this method of just go in, do a few attacks. Before they attack you, exit the battle, go back into the battle. Your units are still full health. There's a little bit lower. Rinse and repeat, and like 80 energy in, and you'll like have done it. The other game mode that I didn't gloss over is Chaos Dungeons. These ones do Gulper. You want Gulper. Yeah, now we're on part 2. Is at the phase where you should start running them. You don't really need to during part 1 because you probably weren't clear enough. I didn't. Chaos has two phases. I can now demonstrate what I do with. I can now demonstrate on this what I do with Mirage Tower 20. How it works. It works in exactly the same way. You have 2 teams. You can switch them over. So we're just going to go for it. I'm just going to go for as much damage as I can. Chaos has 3 phases. The first phase gets you 100 points if you clear it. And then the second 2 get 200 each if you clear them. And obviously it's not like you get 100. So I just cleared the first phase. The more you get, the first phase will get easier and easier and easier as you go on. Each of them will. And now phase 2. Phase 2 can be quite challenging. So you get 1 piece of gold per 100 points. So it's 500 points for the stage. But now he's just used this move that's quite dangerous to me. So I'm going to switch out. My stealth is still going to die, but now I'm now using the second team. The key with Kaos is he has a very, very low endurance. So if you bring units that do -4 endurance, or ones that do bonus hits, they're incredible. So I'm using Robo. Robo's got parts, which when he does it, he gets a bonus hit, which is why I'm using him here. So he gets a bonus hit by chance. So I should have switched back out, but I will now. So he's just taken the diminish. It died anyway. So I'm going to take the first attack. And then I'm going to switch back out. And you see how now they're back to full health. If you rewind the video a little bit, you'll see where they were just like a minute ago when I switched them out. So that's now Hex dead, that's fine. And that's going to kill Starcast almost. Yeah, it is. Okay, so I didn't get back around to it in time. It's fine. Just going for as much as I can. And that'll be a wrap, I think. Yeah, there you go, that's it. So I get 365 points, so I get 300 odd points, so I get 3 pieces of Gulper. You just want to go for Gulper. Gulper is the one, literally the only useful villain in the game right now, pretty much. Like, some of them have like very limited use, but like for like 100% of content, you can use Gulper. Some of them have uses in certain places, like one of them has, I think it's Ice Scream, has a use. No, I5 is what he's called. I5 has a use in Chaos Dungeons because he has a -4 endurance hit. So yeah, just go for a Gulper in the standard dungeons, and that's how you do it. So when you get to low health, try and, if you use healers, that can work, but you probably don't have the runes for it. I don't. Trying to keep your team alive long enough by knocking him down is probably the best bet. He just does too much damage. So if you try and keep him knocked down, knocked down, knocked down, and then switch over to the other team and give it another go trying to get another knockdown, and that's going to be the best way to get a good score in Chaos Dungeons. But obviously, it's just a time thing. As you get stronger, the point at which you'll start clearing them out completely isn't that high in the game. That you do it fairly quickly. I'm not there yet, but it happens. So that's Chaos Dungeons. That's Mirage Tower 20. Once you've done Mirage Tower 20, so you want to keep going until you get to Mirage Tower 20, then the brakes go on a bit, and you really, really relax on the quests. In my opinion, I don't think you should worry about them too much. Just clear them when you can. So, like some of them, like this, are just pathetic. Some you might have to wait a day for. So there's clear 5F for the Beast Labyrinth once. I said that by the time I was there, I was clearing 5F. And if you've cleared Mirage Tower 20, you'll have absolutely no problems clearing Beast Labyrinth 5. Especially if you're, as I suggested, following the Eon quest. And this is what you should have your focus on, is clearing the Eon quest. So getting all of these units up. I would say these ones are your number one priority. So put these two in your spectator slots and put these two in your main slots with Stealth Elf. Then you get Hex and you put Hex in your main team. When you do either one of these, the Gorilla Driller and Flashing will be finished first. Then you want to put Hex in your team or in the spectator slots, and you want to start working on these guys. You might have to accelerate that a little bit, these a little bit to get your Painata clear. But for the most part, you should be alright doing these ones. Obviously, like these two, you won't work on Painata because he's magic and they're undead, so that's an element disadvantage. But if you do a bit into these two, you should be able to get your Painata clear with Stealth Elf. Or if you'll have Barbella and you might have a Nat 5 or some other Nat 4 that you can use there. So these ones should be the focus because Hex is really, really important. She's amazing. So you want to put the brakes on the on this and just go for it more casually. Just doing the ones that you can when you can. 3-7 normal might give you problems. It gave me problems. So there you might want to really start building out your boomer and your wham. In fact, you may want to do that over Flasher and Gorilla Driller. It just depends on when you want to get Hex. I went for Hex as soon as I could and managed to claw through a clear of 3-7 normal without boomer and wham, but it would make it easier. That one's a really difficult one. So's 4-7 normal. 5 didn't give me. I don't think I've beaten 5 actually. I think I got to 5 and then stopped. Halfway through 5. But yeah, 3-7 normal, 4-7 normal quite tough. 2-7 normal's easy. Gulper is really, really easy. So's Chompy. They're really easy. So just keep working on the Eon units because they're going to be what's progressing you in the game fast. If you want to know how fast, I cleared B7 a couple hours ago. Admittedly, I did cheat. I did use Starcast. But my Whirlwind team, my B17 that I'm working on getting you guys to is Whirlwind, Hex, and Crypt King. That's what I'm getting you into. They're amazing. My Whirlwind's not there yet, but she will be soon. So I've done it with Starcast, but I'm going to get Whirlwind because she's a lot more consistent because of the healing. So we'll get there. Wasn't expecting it. I mean, to be honest, also, this is moving on to the next point. Once you start working on your Eon units, you'll start because you're continuing with the green tickets. I said last time when you get 800 gems, smash them into an 8x summon, and do that until you get the 80 and you get the 80 points reward. I would say I'm not quite there yet. It happened. But I use a lot of energy. So you want to try and keep going with your ATEX summons until you get to that. And further to that, you'll start getting a lot of shards of units and need to power them up. So you want to start doing a bit of elixir and ore farming, just a couple of times 10s. Nothing huge. Maybe one of each of them or something. And I haven't done many. I've done I did like 30 runs or something today total. So you want to start doing a few, just so you can get a few of the greys and the blue potions, and start working your way up. It just helps. So that's that. That's general progression. So go through part 1 religiously, stick to it, make sure you get it done. Part 2, once you get to Mirage Tower 20, just coast and just keep doing the Eon units. Do a few distorted dimensions. And keep up with the summons. And that's pretty much it. The next part, the other part of this video that I wanted to cover is the guild stuff. I thoroughly recommend and totally recommend you join a guild. Not putting out any recommendations, I'm just saying you should join a guild, definitely. The rewards, even in the low rank guilds, are too good to miss. You get a few hundred gems and a few white tickets, pretty much whatever guild you're in, at least every season, every week. So it's just worth it just to get the extra rewards. So So there's two guild modes. The first one is Invasion. Invasion, how it works. You'll get a tutorial when you first load up Invasion. Effectively, what you've got is a boss, and you use a team, and you throw your team at him, and you get as much damage as you can. This is my favourite game mode, and there is so much strategy involved in some teams of that can get some really ridiculous scores. If you look through the rest of my channel, you'll see them. However, at low level, those strategies are worthless because you will just get one shot past a certain really low threshold. They are worthless. They won't help you. When you start getting into decent, good runes territory and max Skylanders territory, then they're great. But low level, literally what you want to do is bring a damage dealer, another damage dealer, and another damage dealer. Preferably go for whether the boss has ads or not determines whether you should bring your AoE damage dealers or your single target damage dealers. So Crankcase, I know is just him, so I'm going to bring my single target damage dealers where I can. So I'm probably going to go with, I need to check who I have ruined actually. So I don't have him ruined. I'm missing one on, I'm just going to bring, so I'm just going to bring 3 damage dealers. I know this is the team I just cleared B7 with, so I'm going to bring them. Don't care. And you literally, at low level, all you want to do is just throw as much as you can at him. I realised I just didn't bring a villain. Whoops. It wouldn't do anything to me, really. You're not going to last long. Don't worry. They have a charge move, which is where you'll want a unit with disrupt, but we don't have that yet. So literally basically just YOLO. That's pretty much the name of early game Invasion is YOLO. See what you can do. So I just got a 20k score there. And wham, 20k score. So early game, just just go for damage. Really, it's sad, but it's just how it has to be. And then as we progress, I'll help you point out this unit you should be building, that unit you should be building, this unit's good here. And obviously I've got a whole playlist of invasion videos, but I don't know what level I was when I started making them. I can't remember. But I was a fair bit further along than this. So that's just a good point to note. You get 3 tries. Currently in the game, you get 3 tries and your best one counts. So experiment a bit. See what you can do. You might try one team and then think, okay, well, what if I use this unit? So, for example, Crankcase is tech, so there's a good chance that Stealth Off might work better because she has a 20% attack buff on him. The other mode is Guild Wars. In Guild Wars, you have a defense. It works very similar. It's basically Arena, but with on a gameplay level, it is Arena, but with a 4th person instead of a villain. So you literally on defense and on offense at low level, it's exactly like Invasion. Sadly, run damage dealers. Just run loads of damage dealers. That's your best bet. The best bet is that, because here's how it works: you get medals, or every base has a set of 9 medals. So let's go on to a random defense. Let's find one. Oh, I'm going to struggle here. So there we go. So there's this guy. So everyone has their 4 Skylanders on defense, and they have a set of, there are 9 medals, 3 gold, 3 silver, 3 bronze. Every gold medal is worth 5 points, every silver medal is worth 4, and bronze is worth 3. If you full house clear a team, in other words, you clear them, you win, and you take no casualties. You have no losses. Then you get 3 medals. You get the best 3 medals possible. So, for example, if someone had already taken a gold medal off this, like, is there one? There should be one. I was hoping there were one. Here we go. So this one has had 2 gold medals taken off. That's when one of your Skylanders dies and you win. And then obviously if 2 of your Skylanders die and you win, or one of your Skylanders, or you have 1 left. So if you have 1 or 2 left, you get 1 medal. 3 left, you get 2 medals, and all 4 left, you get 3 medals. So someone has attempted this defense, has gotten 2 medals. So one of the Skylanders dies and they wipe the rest of the team. Oh no, 2 of the Skylanders died and they wipe the rest of the team. So now if I were to attack this, if I were to get all 3 medals, I get a gold and 2 silvers. Whereas if I attack this one, I'll get 3 gold medals. So I'm going to go for the 3 gold medals, and it's easier. Just straight up bring damage dealers. It's the way you do it. And it literally works like Arena. You're playing against an automated opponent, and you're just going to go for clearing. More strategy will come later, but for low level, you just want to bring damage dealers, because otherwise your damage won't be enough. And if they bring something like a healer, you'll just never keep up. So obviously, this is a bit of a low level defense, so I slaughtered it. But some of them are tough. But I'm just going for demonstrating how to do it, rather than showing you, oh my god, this is what I can do with this. So there's that. Certain opponents will have perks. If you can go for those, go for them. But they tend to be on the higher level opponents, so they might be quite tough. Tend to be. You can tell. So, for example, this one has a pair of swords by it. Obviously, this is way too tough for me to take on right now. But they have a pair of swords by it. If they get completely wiped, the swords or the assault gives a 10% defense buff to all of your units, everyone in the guild's units. The intel, this one's the intel, the I. It tells you which members of this guild have the buffs. Then there is the defense. It's not called defense. It's called a guardian. That one gives you a 10% attack buff to everyone on your team, everyone in the guild. Every unit in the guild match gets a 10% defense buff. And then this one is the supply. That's a 10% hit point buff. There are 2 assaults, 2 defenses, and 1 supply. So you can end up getting 20% extra attack, 20% extra defense, and 10% extra HP. So they're useful, but they're usually on the tougher bases, so that probably won't affect you too much. I think that's everything. I really hope that this is useful in helping you progress towards what we want. We want Eon done, and then getting into like B7 and those sorts of dungeons, so we can get some really good runes. So that's going to probably be the next episode, is getting into that. So yeah, thank you very much for staying tuned, and see you then.